going to attempt to read a book of every color. I'm very curious if the story and the tone and, for lack of a better word, vibe of a book correlates to the color of its cover. I've got some theories about what a book cover's color might mean, but also a lot of unanswered questions. Like, what do red books have in common? If anything, do authors choose their cover's color purely on aesthetic? Which colored books are the best? Are most sad books blue? These are the kinds of questions we're gonna put to the test. And I'll determine which color I read first by spinning the color wheel. And just to make it even harder, I've only got 7 days to read as many of these colors as I can. Okay, it's time to spin the wheel to get our first color. All right, 3, 2, 1. I will say there is one color in particular that I would really like it to land on. No, you're joking. Okay, I feel like it sounds like I made this up, but blue is literally the one that I wanted it to land on because there is a new-ish release that I've really been wanting to read and the cover is blue. I do not own this book though, so we do need to go to the bookstore to get it. Also, here's the book shopping OOTD. I felt like I needed to change into blue for day one. It's only fitting. Okay, let's go. And our blue book is One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. Once I read this new release by her, I will have read every single one of her books. And I decided to take my book and go grab some lunch at Cafe Creme. This is a cafe in the library. It's so cute. I've been coming here all the time. I love eating lunch here and then going and finding a cozy spot in the library to sit and read. I'm back and I did a lot of reading. I was sat at the library. I got to page 98 and this book is hitting like all of Carly Fortune's past summer books really have. I feel like she's just such an incredible writer at writing like tension and chemistry, but especially these summer vibes. Like all the descriptions of like the scenery and the feeling of like the ocean and the salt and the beach. Reading her books really makes me feel nostalgic for summers from my own time being a teenager, which is kind of funny to say because in this book the characters are not teenagers. The main characters are in their early and mid 30s, but I still feel that feeling of what it's like to be like 16, 17, spending the summer in my own town. Oh, and Charlie is also from the book Every Summer After. They can both be read as standalones, but if you've read this book, then it definitely hits harder to finally get Charlie's story in this one. Oh, and it feels so cute reading this book in front of my Carly Fortune shrine. Then I went to sit outside on my balcony to read. I love reading outside, but I just moved downtown and it's very noisy on my balcony, so I did put in my Loop quiet earplugs. They reduce noise by up to 26 decibels, and I feel like they've completely saved my outdoor reading time because they allow me to focus on what I'm reading and not get so distracted by all of the outside noise. And Loop has very kindly sponsored today's video. I have both the quiet and experience model. The Loop quiet model is great for sleep, focus, travel, or just general noise sensitivity. It's reusable, washable, and made with super soft silicone. And then I have the Loop Experience earplugs, which me and my boyfriend actually just wore to a concert. These are perfect for concerts or loud social gatherings. What's really cool is they filter sound instead of blocking it. So you still get clear music and conversations just without the extremely loud volume. One of my biggest complaints about using earplugs in the past is that I just feel like they're so uncomfortable. You never know which earplugs are gonna fit your ears right. So I love that these come with a wide range of ear tip sizes. So you can get the perfect fit even if you're picky like me on how earplugs fit your ears. And they're also so cute. If I'm gonna wear earplugs, might as well be aesthetically pleasing. Honestly, going to the concert wearing these earplugs, it almost felt like another little accessory because I love the color options. And Loop also has a ton of other colors and models depending on what you're looking for to protect your ears. You can get your own pair of Loop earplugs by clicking the link in my description, and you can use my code for a discount. So trust me, your ears will thank you. And a huge thank you again to Loop for sponsoring this video. I tried page 136 and Alice, I just feel like I really relate to her. One of my favorite things in books is when there's something in a book that's so specific and you're like, no, that's me. That is me. And there's this like really specific moment. Alice talks about how she feels like the turtle in her family. Like she is the quietest one of all her siblings, and that's something she doesn't like a ton about herself. And Charlie is surprised. He's like, I don't think of you as shy. I was actually talking about this with my therapist like 2 years ago. I always thought I was just like very shy, quiet person, and she was like surprised by that. Like, I've never thought about you as a shy person. I was like, wait, really? And just kind of realizing that just because maybe I'm the quietest person in my friend groups doesn't mean I am this like shy, kind of boring person that I thought of myself in a way. There are just so many little things about Alice where I'm like, wow, it's so cool to just really relate to a character. And I think now I'm gonna switch to the audiobook because I'm actually going on a beach trip this weekend with some friends. I'm very excited, and I do need to pack because I think I'm leaving in like 2 hours. So I'm gonna audiobook, pack for the beach. I unfortunately did not film at all on my beach weekend, mostly because I went with friends, so I just wanted to chill and relax. Basically, the only thing we did was spend the entire day at Slitterbond, but I did do a lot of reading and I finished One Golden Summer, so let's talk about it. It's a few days later, I'm back from the beach, and I really liked it. I think I'm gonna say 4 stars. I feel like I kind of have a very similar feeling with all of Carly Fortune's books. I feel like they are the most perfect summer reads, but her books have never been 5 stars for me, I don't think. Maybe I've given 1 5 stars before, but overall, they're romances that once I'm done reading them, I don't feel like I continue to think about them and the characters, but I really enjoy them while we're reading them, and I always remember the summer vibes and always get excited when she has a new book coming out. The conflict at the end was like a little frustrating for me, which I think is also a feeling that I have in most of her books. But yeah, overall, I loved it. And now let's talk about the color blue. I pulled a bunch of blue books that I've already read, and my kind of original hypothesis, the more obvious hypothesis, is that blue equals sad, because that's what we kind of associate with that color. But actually, only one of the blue books that I own that I've read is sad, and that's The Song of Achilles. So I was actually really surprised when I pulled a bunch of books from my shelves that most of them were romances. I do own 2 blue mysteries and quite a few blue romances where I didn't really see a through line with the color blue, but I did kind of notice a lot blue books that are summer reads, which I actually think makes a lot of sense because blue and the ocean, and I think even just Carly Fortune's book covers, again, just give you that feeling of, oh, I need to read this book at the beach or in the pool. Okay, it's time to pick a new book and spin the color wheel again. Let me pull up our color wheel and time to spin in 3, 2, 1. Okay, black. Interesting. This one I almost honestly debated not putting on black or white because they're not like colorful colors, but they are still colors. And I guess my prediction for black is that it's gonna be a more moody book would be the stereotype, and maybe even fantasy. I feel like when I think about books I own, I'm gonna guess most of the black ones are fantasy books. But let's put it to the test. A lot of black books on the fantasy mystery shelf. So I own a lot of black books, a lot more than I thought. This actually isn't even all of them. I figured this tower would absolutely collapse if I grabbed every single one. And I think my hypothesis was kind of right. A lot of these are fantasy books and mystery books. I kind of forgot about mystery, but it makes sense that a lot of mystery books would be black. The only problem with a lot of these fantasy books is they are the first books in series, and I don't know if I want to start a new series right now just because I'm still in the middle of a lot of series. Also, I did change into black. I think this is the only black shirt I own. These 2 books could be really fun to read. I've read one Lucy Foley book before and really loved it, and then I got gifted this book and it sounds really cool and unique and out of my comfort zone in the best way. In My Dreams I Hold a Knife would be a great one to read. This might be one of the books I've owned the longest out of all the books that I own and haven't read. The Word is Murder would also be fun. The author wrote himself as the main character, and I've always been like, what does that look like in a book? Intriguing. Curse of the Wolf King is a fantasy book that would actually help me finish a series I'm in the middle of. Serpent and Dove is one of the series that I would be most excited to start next, and then I don't think I would start any of these books today. Which one do I want to start? I think I'm gonna go with In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, just because I have owned it for a long time, so this would be great motivation to read it. So far, this book really reminds me of If We Were Villains. I feel like if you read this book, you would also like this one, and vice versa. Well, I guess this is a little premature for me to say because I haven't finished this book to know if it's a good book, but If We Were Villains was 7 actors who studied Shakespeare together in college, and there was a murder. And then this book is 6 friends, 1 college reunion, 1 unsolved murder. So very much like the same formula, and I'm definitely enjoying it so far. It goes back and forth between present day, where they're at the college reunion, and then in the past when they're actually in college. And and our main character is very interesting. Definitely a very imperfect person, a very flawed character, which I think is really, really interesting to read about as a main character and as our narrator too. Also, something I just realized is this is my first official full reading vlog in my new apartment, and I've only been reading in the bedroom so far, so why don't we go sit and read in some different spots in the apartment. I've been really loving pulling this reading chair from my room into the living room and sitting by the big windows. I just finished chapter 13 and we've gotten some crazy reveals. That's one thing. I feel like there are different kinds of mystery books. Some are more like, ooh, solving the case, crack the code, but I love ones full of lots of secrets where it feels like, this sounds so, I feel like girly of me, but almost like reality TV gossip, but in a mystery book. It actually is not similar at all to reality TV or gossip, but just the idea of like these secrets unraveling and the juiciness of what the different characters are hiding. It's the next day. I don't own any other black that's not winter clothes, so just going for a dark sweatshirt today. And I'm on page 246. I love watching my favorite booktubers reading vlogs on the books that I'm reading. It makes me feel like I'm buddy reading it with them, even though a lot of times the videos are old. So I was like watching Haley Pham's video where she read this book, I think 2 years ago, but it was really fun to watch her reactions on the parts that I've already read. And then at the ending, she thought the ending was really crazy, and that really brought up her final rating. So that's making me really excited now to finish this book, because I would say right now I'm at maybe like 3.5 stars, to be honest. I'm enjoying it, but I wouldn't say I'm obsessed with it. I'll explain more why once I finish it, but I do not know who the murderer is, which is fun. There's definitely been moments where every character could have been and maybe could still be the murderer, so I'm like, okay, who's left to be the actual murderer? It's the next day and I finished In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. The ending was so good, especially the final twist. I never, ever, ever saw coming. I absolutely loved that. And I love this book was very, definitely like angsty, dark academia vibes. All the characters, very flawed characters. I feel like there was a lot of cool kind of commentary and themes on kind of the good and bad and secrets and insecurities in everybody. My only complaint is, and this is a common thing I feel with mysteries a lot, I don't know if anyone else feels this way, and I've kind of talked about this a little bit before in other videos, but a lot of times with mysteries, I feel almost more like I'm floating above the story watching it happen rather than in it. And I think the reason why is because a lot of mysteries do have more so like flawed, morally gray, questionable characters, which is so interesting to read about, but I don't find that I'm rooting for them or that I'm like, wow, I love this character because of that. An example of a mystery that is not like that would be like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, the Natural series. Those books I absolutely loved, adored the characters, rooting for them, obsessed with them, fully felt like I was in their head. So because of that, I think I'm gonna say 3.75 stars, but I really liked it. I loved the mystery. Today is day 6, I think, so we're definitely obviously not going to get to every single color in this week, but it could be fun to do a part 2, another video to read all the colors that I didn't get to in this video, and I'll definitely talk a little bit about the other colors at the end of the video, even the ones we don't get to. I think I can say my prediction for the color black is accurate 99, if not 100% of the time. I looked at every single book on my shelves that I've already read, and I couldn't find any black books that were not moody or dark, or just a book with generally heavier themes. I kind of thought that's how it would be with every color. Like it'd be pretty clear, okay, this color means this, but we kind of found with blue, it kind of meant different things with different genres or themes in the story. But black, I think the fact that it's such a bold color, it really just has one meaning. Okay, now on to a new color and a new book. Let's pull up our wheel and spin. Okay, purple. I actually don't know if I own that many purple books. My guess would be that lighter purple I would see in romance book covers, and then darker purple would be in fantasy books. That's my guess, but let's go see what purple books I own that I haven't read yet. I just grabbed 5 books, and I think this is every single purple book I own, which I own a lot of unread books, so that's not, so that's not that many. And I feel like my hypothesis was right, at least just looking at these so far, because 1 is a fantasy book, dark purple, and then 4 are romance books. Out of these, I think I know exactly which one I would want to read, and that is Sable Peak. This is the 6th and last book in the Eden series, and in my last video I read the 5th book in the Eden series, so I feel like my mind is just very much still in this series with these characters. What I absolutely love about this series, it takes place in a small town, and each book follows a different member in the Eden family, and they each get their own romance, and all the characters work in the small town. So even from book 1, you're like running into all of the future characters, so you're so quickly so invested in all of them. And then this book, the main Eden character is Mateo, and he's the only one where we don't know very much about him. He so far has not lived in the small town. We've just gotten tiny little glimpses of him when he has visited, and I've been so excited for this book because I'm like, who is Mateo? Like, why is he so mysterious? I want to know everything about him. Let's start this book, and I'm gonna change into some purple to be on theme for today. I told you guys why I was excited to read about Mateo, but I also really love Vera, our main character, because she's actually introduced in book 5. And that's like one of the best things I feel like about series, is that by the last few books, you're just so invested in so many things. Like in this book, I said the whole family, the town, I'm intrigued by Mateo. I also know a little bit about Vera. So coming into this book, it's been pretty easy to be instantly very hooked. And some of the books in the series have a mystery subplot, and the mystery subplot in book 5 carries into this book a little bit. So again, like I'm also already invested in that plot line, so it's great.
You're wearing a purple shirt, reading a purple book.
It's on purpose. I'm wearing the same color that I read every day.
It's royal.
Oh, thank you. Are you saying I'm a queen?
No, just the color purple.
Oh.
But I mean, you are a queen, but that's not what I was saying.
Oh.
But it's what I'm saying now.
Okay, great. Update, I'm on page exactly 150, and this book is such a guilty pleasure for me. I think it's so interesting now reflecting on having read romance, probably like 1 romance book a week for the last 3 years. Maybe that's not entirely true, but at least majority romance for the last 3 years. I feel like my taste in romance has shifted some over time. I definitely am now leaning a lot less towards just like light, fun romances. I love romances now that have more heart or more like a surprising element or plot point to them, just something to feel like I'm still mixing it up in the romance genre. But books like this, I mean, this book does have a lot of heart. I think both of the characters have some baggage and backstory that I've really enjoyed exploring that gives a lot of depth to them, so I really love that. But overall, it's not really anything new. It's a lot like an Elsie Silver book or every other book in this series that I've read, but there's still so many guilty pleasure authors and series for me in romance, even ones that like don't mix up the genre at all. So I'm curious what my final rating is going to be, because it's a pretty classic romance, but at the same time I am eating it up. Very great comfort series and author for me. Good morning, I'm in my closet and I'm struggling to find some purple to wear today. I don't know if I own any more purple. Oh, purple overalls? Epic, I forgot I owned these. I have just over 100 pages left, so we can definitely finish this book today, and I think the like kind of mystery plot is like really gonna be picking up right now, which I'm really intrigued by how they're gonna end that plot and like the entire series as a whole, because this is book 6, like it almost feels bittersweet to be finishing the last 100 pages to have to say goodbye to these characters. And I am gonna switch to reading on my Kindle. I love going back and forth between every format. I normally will switch to an audiobook when I go on a walk every day, and then love physical books and reading on my Kindle, especially when I'm in bed. I feel like the Kindle is so convenient to hold. Let's finish this book. It's the next day, and it felt very fitting to our rainbow today, because not only am I going to talk about Sable Peak and the color purple, but also every single color. But I did finish Sable Peak last night, and I really loved it, especially the ending. Such a great goodbye, like love letter to all of the Edens and the town. We get so much of not just Mateo and Vera, but also, like I said, every single character from the whole series, which made my heart so happy. I think I'm going to say 4.25 stars for this one. And I did go ahead and pull all the purple books I own that I've already read. Okay, these are all of the purple books I own that I have read. The fact that it's only 5 is quite crazy because I have read a lot of books. And I think overall my prediction was pretty accurate-ish. Purple is kind of a hard color to pin down. And this morning I actually did a ton of research on the behind the scenes of book cover designers, how they choose their covers and the colors in their covers. I watched a video that John Green made where he talked about the design process for one of his books. And also a video by Holly Dunn, which I would really recommend, where she talks specifically about choosing colors and what colors represent on covers. And she's an illustrator who specializes in book cover design, so she's very adept to answer this question. And she talked a lot about how even one individual color can represent a lot of different emotions and feelings, which is kind of what I found with blue and also with purple. Number 2, which I didn't even think about, is that it may be something that is just central to a specific plot point, which is what John Green talks about, where he has a book that has an essay on the sunset, so they went with this cover. Or like The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, the green dress is a very iconic outfit she wore in the book. And the last point that Holly Dunn talks about, which is another thing I didn't think about at all, is it could purely be for branding. Like we have example Penguin Random House books all have that orange on the spine or within the logo. And I think that is something that might really be at play with Sable Peak, because what's actually interesting about this series is every single book is a different color. So I'm sure the covers were partially chosen by giving this series this distinct branding of every single book being a different color. And I'm sure there was also a lot of thought as to which color would correlate to which different book. It's honestly really fun to think about and analyze. These are all of the colors that we did not have time to get to in this video, and I think it'd be really fun to do a part 2 and read all of these colors, but let's go through them really quick. First, we have white. For options of ones that I haven't read, I have The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley, Tattered by Daphne Perry. Now, I'm not sure if this one should count. Let me know y'all's opinion. This is actually a special edition. It's white because you can actually color the cover, which I think is so cool, but the original cover has a lot of whites in it as well. But yeah, don't know if this one should count or not. Then we have The Cheerleader and Throttled. I don't really have a super strong prediction of why a book's cover might be white. The first thing that comes to my mind when I think of white is very stark. Like I think of snow, wintry landscape, a hospital. Next up is red. I was shocked that I think these are the only 2 red books I own, and I really thought there was going to be a ton of red books because I feel like red is such a striking color and has 2 really distinct and clear meanings, like red being romance, or I think of blood and gore. Option 1, The Red Queen. This is a special edition, so again, doesn't count because it wasn't the original intended cover, but it is extremely red in every way. And the second one is 5 Broken Blades. Oh my gosh, also, I could do Scythe. Wait, that would be perfect. Okay, that's another option for red for the next video. Right now, Danny is reading Scythe, so it would be really fun if I read it, so then me and him could talk about it, but he has all the books. That's why I kind of forgot that I have that one. Next up is orange, In the Weeds and Catch the Sun. The thing I think of most when I think of orange is probably like warmth and the sun. Next up is yellow. Yellow, also extremely hard to find. This Woven Kingdom and Weather Girl, which is admittedly mostly blue, but I feel like the yellow in this cover is so bold, and both very different books. When I think of yellow, I think of joy. Then we have pink, which to no surprise, I have a lot of pink books, but to my surprise, not all of these are romance. I really thought, oh, pink, romance, duh, case closed, but only one in this stack is romance, First Time Caller, which is actually also half pink, half yellow. Then we have A Lovely War, which is fantasy and historical fiction. I believe has some romance in it too. The Rose Bargain, which is romantasy. Some Shall Break, which is mystery. Oh, and The Paradise Problem, another romance. So we really have every genre with pink, which is so shocking to me. And another hard color to find is green. These are the only 2 green unread books that I own. Blindside, which is a romance, and The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black, which is romantasy. And when I think of green, I either think of nature or emotions like envy and greed and money. So those are all the rest of the colors that we didn't get to. Let me know if you'd want to see a part 2 and what books you'd most be intrigued to see me read for each color, either from the ones I just showed you that I already own, or if you have suggestions, always happy to go book shopping. So yeah, if you guys have any thoughts expanding on this topic, let me know because I think it's so interesting. And with that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.